Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for being here today. It's excellent to see you again. Today's video is going to be a film talk video. I have not done one of these in so long, it's embarrassing. But I just got back a roll of film off of my new point and shoot camera, so this is gonna be my first impressions. Well, I've already seen them, so my first impressions was not filmed, but I wanted to talk about like how I've been feeling about this roll. Some of the shots I really loved, and then a lot of the shots that I thought were going to turn out really, really beautiful ended up being super disappointing. So if you have ever used this camera, please let me know if you have any suggestions on how to improve moving forward. I have done a film talk where I talk about a different point and shoot that I first got. Or the first time I used it, I talked about some of the shots, and some comments are super nice, and then other comments are weirdly condescending and mean. So if you know about this camera, just be nice about it. Just help me through it, because I'm trying my best and I'm not a professional and I don't know all there is to know. So be kind and kindness will follow you. Okay? Got it. Okay. You guys, I'm so sorry about this lighting. I'm like going blind right now by the sun. I'm trying really hard to keep my cool, but it is so bright right now. Let's just get into it, you guys. Okay, we're gonna push through. I picked up this camera at Central Camera in downtown Chicago last week. I'd forgotten my point and shoot at home, and so I went in and I was like, hey, here's my budget. And the guy was like, this is what you should buy. And I was like, done. So I didn't do any research on this camera. I didn't even know about this camera. So that was my knowledge going into Central Camera. But I picked up the Minolta Sightseer Zoom. Sightseer Zoom. There it is. Looks like this. Fun. Looks like this. And also, hence the name, it zooms. Wow. So that's a really cool function, and it was pretty slick, but there's a couple things I don't like about this camera, only because it's unfamiliar. So first of all, if you know this camera at all, I'm gonna need some advice. I cannot adjust the ISO on this camera, which is odd to me because all of my other cameras, I can do that. I have that type of functionality in the camera, and I don't understand why I don't have it on this. Is that something that's common in other point and shoot cameras? Because I have never experienced it personally. There's no way to do it. I've read the manual, I've looked at videos, I cannot find it. So if you know anything about that, please let me know. Another thing is that when you go to take the photo, when you click down what I feel like is enough, it's focusing for you. So it actually takes more force than I'm used to with other cameras that I own. Those are just the two things that I've noticed. There were a lot of times while I was shooting in Chicago where I had like the perfect photo lined up. I went to take it and then it wouldn't take because it was focusing or adjusting or something. So I would miss out on really cool shots, and it sucked that I missed out on some really cool shots. Okay, adjusted the ISO again. So yeah, those are just the two things that I've really noticed that I don't care for, but again, it's just, I'm used to other cameras, so that's probably what it is. But now let's get into the photos I actually shot with this camera last week. There are some that I love, some that I really don't love, because I saw how they looked in person and it did not come out as well as I had hoped. So let's get into that. I was using Kodak 400. I'll link it down below so that you know the exact film I was using. I've already turned it in, so it's not in front of me. So this first shot, we're gonna start with a good one. This first shot is taken at the Art of Institute in Chicago, and it is of my friend August walking through the sculpture area. I love this photo. I think it came out really crisp and clean. It's really bright in that room, so I think that's why it turned out so well. But I just think it's great. I think, you know, it captured it perfectly, and I really have no complaints about this. You can see some grain, which I personally love. I have no objections to grain. So I think that this photo is beautiful, but this is one of those photos that I had a problem with taking it, because the original photo I wanted was, she was still close enough to me where it like looked a little more centered on her. And by the time that the camera actually shot off, she was already gone. So that was one of those instances where I feel like it didn't snap as fast as I wanted it to. Next, we have this photo of me and my friend August and Madison in front of the Chicago Bean. And I just think this is a cute photo. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about it. It's warped because it was on the bean, not because of the camera itself. I think it looks awesome, and I'm actually really stoked off this photo, so nothing wrong there. Okay, so this next photo is of me, and now this is just the function of the room. I think that I am enough in focus for how kind of dark and yellow it was in that room. So I'm not super unhappy with this photo. Obviously, I hate how yellow the whole photo is. I think it just looks weird that I like match the wall behind me. But I think that really is just that it was low lighting in a conference room. So that's what I think was going on there. I wish it didn't look like this, but it was cool, I guess. So this next photo is my favorite photo on the roll. I think because it's sentimental and because of the grain, but it's this one right here, and it's of my friend Rachel in front of her favorite painting. This painting means a lot to her, so I really wanted to get like an authentic, like candid photo of her staring at it. I didn't ask her to pose for me. I just was like, here you go. She's enjoying her moment and I'm taking a photo. I didn't use flash, and this was in kind of a dimmer museum lighting, but I still think that it was a little blurry on her because it was focusing on two different things, you know what I'm saying? But that it really captures like her looking into the photo. And again, it's grainy and there's like a vignette of light on the photo. I just think that this one turned out really well. Obviously, I was not cognizant of the straight lines that I should have been adhering to, but I really like this photo. Here's another photo. This one's outside in Chicago, and I love this one. I loved those fire escapes in Chicago. I had never really seen it like that before. I've been to New York, but maybe I just wasn't paying attention, but the fire escapes in Chicago were awesome. They don't have them like this in San Francisco. They have them, but not like this. Anyway, I think it turned out really well. Again, this was natural lighting, so I wasn't so nervous about like natural lighting and photos and how this camera would perform outside. I was pretty confident in how it would all turn out, but it was a little disappointing with the indoor photos. So although I'm hyped with this one, I'm not so hyped with other ones that were taken outside. Wait. That were taken inside. This one is blurry. Now on the user manual, it said, stay about 1.5 feet away from your subject. And I was 2 or 3 feet away from this subject. I was standing above it, pointing down. Maybe I can't measure, but I think I was far enough away, and yet pretty much everything is blurry. That's okay with me because I love how this looks. I'm glad it turned out this way. But if, for example, I really wanted those words under the coffee cup to be in focus, like for the aesthetics of like schoolwork and coffee, I don't know. I don't know how I would have achieved that. Maybe like I should have just used the autofocus and like really made sure that it was in a good place before I shot it off. I do know that the room was dark when I took this photo. It was at night and there was only one light on like behind me, I think. So I don't really know how I would have fixed this. I'm okay with how it turned out. I like it, but like that thing to the right of the paper is a thing of coffee. No, it's a thing of popcorn. But you wouldn't know that because it's not in focus. You know what I mean? Just the little things. Okay, so here's another photo that I took in the Art Institute, and this is a moment where I'm like, oh, that looked a lot cooler in my head. So obviously the straight lines, it's annoying. I should have been more cognizant of that, but that's fine. I can edit that and crop it so that it's all it's all in a straight line, but it's really blurry, and the colors in the background, like I know it's a Monet, so it's supposed to be kind of like watercolory and like kind of blurred, but it's obvious that this painting is just blurry, and yet I was standing super far back, and I wouldn't say that she's in focus, so it's not like, oh, the statue's in focus, so you had to sacrifice the focus on the painting. I just kind of thought that like with the one with my friend standing in front of the artwork, they're both kind of in focus, and with this one, neither thing is in focus, even though it was lit enough and I was far enough away. So I don't really know how I would have improved that. I mean, maybe I could blame it on the user and say that maybe I shifted, but I'd like to say that I've been shooting long enough to know when not to do that. Okay, so Here's another photo that was in the Art Institute, and this one again is blurry, but the room is so much brighter. So this is what I'm having trouble understanding, is that I know the basic rules of like well-lit natural daylight, that'll get, best quality will come out of that. I know that like standing too close to something will have it out of focus, but with both the last photo and this photo, the last photo, yes, was in a darker room, but this photo is right next to a big ass window that had natural light coming in. And I had her like pose and like stand there, and I was not moving. Like this was not something that I was like, oh, keep moving. Like I was not like rushing this photo. So I don't understand why it's blurry. And this is one that I wish wasn't. So if you have any tips or an understanding of what was going on, because like I'm almost 100% positive that my Canon AF35M2 would have performed really well here. So I'm having a hard time understanding it. Here's a photo of me and my friends who were on a panel all together in Chicago. My last video explains this, but I was in Chicago presenting on a paper that I've written and the research that I've done. And so here's the three of us, with Rachel on the left, me in the middle, and my friend Liz on the right. And I think it's so cute. But what I notice above all is my red ass eyes. But I think it was great. And also all flash photos on this turned out spectacular. So no problem with the flash. High performance flash. Okay, so here is one of me in a mirror in that same room that was of me taking a sip that was super yellow. So this is the same room, same lighting, no daylight. I'm still standing far enough back. And so it's just interesting. This is just, I think, like a commentary on film, like how certain, like the same roll of film can get you super saturated, like yellow color. And then this one, I'm standing there, I'm not rushing it. I'm taking a photo of myself in the mirror. There's no rush, honey. Like I'm taking it, and yet the colors look vastly different. And this one is out of focus. So I don't know. Maybe that's just a testament to film and like the way that I was holding the camera or the way that it focused. I don't know. This is why I have an issue with the ISO not being adjustable, because I'm like, is this something that I could have controlled if I had control over that? I don't know. Let me know. Here's a photo again of my friend Rachel. She is in front of another painting, although this one is scripted. Is it scripted? No. This one is planned. I told her, she was already taking a photo, but I was like, hold that pose. Keep taking that photo. I'm gonna shoot this off. So this is the photo on film, and then this is the photo off of her camera when I took the photo. Yes, I know, flash in a gallery is not allowed, but with this camera, flash is auto. It's an auto flash thing. So I have to turn off flash every single time I turn this camera on, which again is something that I don't love about this camera, but you can't win them all. But that is something that unless I actually went up to the flash and clicked it twice to turn it off, it was going to have flash on, which Canon, not the same way. My Canon AF35M2, you physically have to put the flash up for it to go off. So that happened a few times in the gallery, and I felt like an asshole every time. Here's another photo outside. This is Miller's Pub. Again, like the color on the neon sign is beautiful. The outdoors, like the buildings are all dark, but the sky is super blue. I love this. I knew that it was gonna perform well outside, so I had no reservations, and this is a testament to that. And everything's super in focus. So it's the indoors that causes problems. Okay, see, here's another photo. Again, we're in front of that Monet painting again. This is my friend August, and she and the painting are super blurry. And I'm going to say it is how dark that room was, but how is it that one photo in front of a painting turned out really crisp and clear, grainy, but crisp and clear, and then this one is so blurry? Like, I took my time taking this, so I don't know how it is so blurry. Here's me in front of another mirror. This turned out super crispy. I love this photo so much. I love a good mirror selfie on film. I think it looks great. This is of my friend Rachel in our Airbnb, and I love this photo. It has the natural lighting, so it comes out really well, but there's like a vignette of grain around the whole thing. Up on like the blinds, it's a little grainy, and then at the bottom, it's just like, it's so cool. You can see that we were all working on our presentations or papers or whatever that morning, because all the computers are out on that table. And I think it really encapsulates like how the Airbnb looked. And when I look at this photo forever, like for months and years from now, I'll remember what it felt like to be in that Airbnb. So that is it, you guys. I have more photos on it, but I don't want to keep patting myself on the back for some of them and then repeating my problems with other ones. So yeah, I guess with dimmer rooms, blur is a factor. It will be out of focus a lot more often, which is it's disappointing because I have shot with my other point and shoot so much indoors and outdoors, and my Canon seems to perform better. It's probably just because this is new and I'm still getting used to it, but there's so many photos on that roll where I am far enough and I was steady enough where it shouldn't be as blurry as it is. But that's the end of this video, you guys. Please let me know if you have any suggestions or any commentary, but do it nicely. I'm super sensitive, so if you have an attitude, it'll just hurt my feelings. And I'm so down to learn and to like just be a better photographer, but I need kindness. I don't need an attitude. A lot of people have sent me like pretty sassy film comments, and there's no need for it. You can be helpful without being rude. That's all I'll say. If you like these film videos, please let me know, and I'll keep reviewing them because I have taken some beautiful photos over the last 6 months that I have not talked about. And if you'd like to see them, I'd like to share them. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.